This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 253. Welcome to Comic Geek Speak. I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Matt.
I'm Adam Murdo.
I'm Shane Kelly.
I'm Brian Chrisman.
I'm Jamie D.
And I'm Peter Rios.
And this episode of Comic Geek Speak is sponsored by InStockTrades.com. To save lots and lots of money on trade paperbacks and hardcovers, go to InStockTrades.com where you'll save up to 35% and you'll get free shipping on orders of $50 or more. It can't be any simpler than that. Go to InStockTrades.com.
All right, before we get to the meat of this episode, and as always, earmuffs. We talk about Spider-Man 3 a little bit. It's just, you're going to have a good time. Again, when we think he can't top the last episode, Uncle Sal just goes above and beyond.
He is the Barry Bonds of guests.
But we have a couple things we need to make sure you guys know because we haven't mentioned it in a while. Book of the Month Club this month is Blankets, and we'll be recording that at the end of the month. So get your thoughts in on the forum or audio emails or through the voicemail line. And the next month's selection is Akira Volume 1 from Dark Horse, and all these you can find on InStockTrades.com. And we should also mention, don't forget that half our crew is going to Wizard World Philly, and half our crew is going to Heroes Con. That is the weekend of Father's Day weekend. And the week after that, or is it before? After that is Mocha.
Right? After that, the weekend right after that.
A few of us will be making the trip up on Saturday. I might be there all weekend, but Brian, Shane, Tasha, and Jamie. Tasha was gone, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Jamie, anybody else think they might go?
Maybe. If it's
Maybe?
a day trip, yeah.
It's a day trip up on Saturday. That's a great convention. There's a lot of cool art books there, and Uncle Sal will be there, as we'll talk about later in the episode. Pants' contest for the month. You have until the end of the month to guess how much Pants spent at Pittsburgh. It does not include food, does not include gas, tolls, poker, or hotel. It just is comics, raffle tickets, original art, comics bought at the comic stores before and at the convention. Send it to cgscontest@gmail.com and you will win a prize. And we still don't know what that prize is just yet.
Did you want to give him a ceiling?
I was going to say, we haven't given him a ceiling to really... So
Well, I would say just like your contest and merge, don't go nuts, don't go for 5,000.
5,000, that's good. That'd be great if we get like these $10,000.
$1 million.
Great, there's your ceiling, 5,000. Thank you for reminding me about that. Who wants to talk about this? Anybody's read it or see? Jamie, it came from Golden Eagles.
Well, yeah, we had talked about. I thought we had talked about this back when we did our New York wrap up. But Ape Entertainment's Free Comic Book Day, Comic Book Spectacular. Hopefully, some of you saw this, picked this up. Should have picked it up anyway had you seen it at Free Comic Book Day because Ape is just that good. But big thank you and all the love that goes with it out to Steve Bryant, who in the Athena Voltaire Masks of the Naga little storyline managed to incorporate all of our names into the storyline. You have the beginning. You have Mr. Peter Deemer, professor of archaeology. You had I'm just looking at it quickly. There's Forrest. You had Matthew Forrestal, which was of course Matt. You have Forrestal's associates Moyer and Kelly, and on the other page they talked about Axis Scholar, Dr. Giovanni D'Alessandro. On loan from Mussolini, so it's nice to know I'm working for Mussolini. But it was just a lot of fun to see our names, and he did this totally without our knowledge. So love out to you, Steve. We love you.
Yeah.
But no murder pants are in there. So
yeah, unfortunately, he's going to try to work on that. He said somewhere down the line.
We haven't earned what these guys have earned.
And like I said, on top of it, it's worth getting anyway. You should have gotten it anyway because
it's free.
It's free. You're right. You had a White Picket Fence quick story, Goblin Chronicles. You had a Teddy Scare story, Go Go Gorilla and the Gru Crew, and Bizarre New World. So if you know of a comic shop that still has these, I know we still have some stuff at Golden Eagle, which we're selling it, but we're donating anything we sell to local libraries. do yourself a favor and pick it up.
And we have a short voicemail from Dave Hedgecock, one of the owners of Ape.
Hey guys, it's David Hitchcock from Ape Entertainment here. I just want to call for two things. One, I'm listening to the Chris Moreno interview right now, and I'm really loving it. Chris is a really talented guy, and he's, as you guys saw or heard, he's pretty funny too. And then the second thing, as you all know, Free Comic Book Day is May 5th, and I'm a little worried that some people, including some of your listeners, may not know that Ape Entertainment's Free Comic Book Day comic has all new original material in it that's not going to be showing up in the main comics of the series that they're promoting. So, you know, if you've got Athena Voltaire fans or fans of any of our more recent titles like White Picket Fences and Bizarre New World, you know, make sure you tell them to pick up the book because there's stuff in there that they're not going to get anywhere else. All right, man, that's it. You guys continue to do a great job, and thank you for pushing Ape Entertainment all the time. Much appreciated. We'll see you in Philly. Bye.
Next.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. That's awesome. Just a quick thing, just because in the last episode I didn't have this information with you, but the Defixer.com, Defixer's Hideout podcast, which is now a part of the forums, here's their brief description. We are black fanboys and fangirls from Brooklyn, New York, who love all things pop culture and, like our peers, have our point of view on things. We believe in the fanboy, fangirl nation, and we see how that which we love is now becoming part of the mainstream. On our podcast, you'll hear, listen to our podcast and agree with glee or disagree with gleeful venom. One nation under the fanboy flag, we put forth our podcast in the sea of many, singing our domination with a voice of one. So check it out. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, not only from other podcasters, but from some of our listeners as well. Sounds like it's a very bold and experiment, and it sounds like it's just a hell of a good time. So I'm going to check those out eventually.
I'm going to mix it up and do it early. All right, this one was sent in by Joe Sergi. Question 1, Independent. Bomb Queen was originally part of the Four Queens, a group of villains who jointly reigned over Newport City before she killed them. What are the real names, secret identities of the murdered queens? No partial credit.
No, I don't. I've only got the 4th issue of that first miniseries because it had that Loopy Dave pinup, so I don't know it.
Ice Queen was Ying Shi Quan. Scream Queen was Kimberly Kimbo Lore. And Drama Queen was Jessica Hyde. All right. Question 2, DC. Anyone at New York Comic Con knows what Green Lantern sector Earth is located in. But what is the sector where the planet Krypton was located before it blew up?
It's either 1814, 1614. 1614.
Merdino.
I'm going to say 2813.
That's correct. 2813.
I'm thinking. Oh, because 2814 is Earth.
Right.
Crap.
Yeah.
I know who patrolled that.
Who?
I don't know. Tomar Ray.
Exactly.
That's correct. He has that in the notes. He said, pat on the back, but no credit, if Pete knew that. All right, question 3. It's all on the line right here. Marvel.
I'm toast.
During the Cross-Time Caper, Excalibur met the Lightning Force, a Nazi version of Excalibur. On what Earth did they meet the Lightning Force?
Oh. They're asking for the serial number of the Earth, right?
Yeah.
That's crap.
How would anyone even know this?
Probably had it in the story.
Do you think?
Yeah. It's a little known fact. Marvel does have numbered Earths people out there.
Yeah, but they don't ever talk about it in the comics.
And Excalibur.
Alan Moore has numbered Earths. He can keep his numbered Earths in his brain.
And Excalibur, but that's not an Alan Moore one.
Yeah, but that deals with Captain Britain, which is where it started.
Earth 246. 52.
597.
539. What?
597.
I said that. 539. Just figure like
5954.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 69, 40, 40, 40, 40.
A number between 1 and a million. I was right.
Oh, Joe Sergi. Is that
Win.
his second one? I can't. I seem to remember him. I don't know if that's his first or second. I don't know what we're going to send him, but
You stumped the
figure it out.
Eagles.
we'll send him
An autographed 8x10 glossy of your...
of Crusaders. Of myself. Is that what you said?
I still got NFL Super Pro number 1.
As Gary Coleman. Episode 300. Mike Norton, Steve Bryant, Maury Hollowell, Buzz, Erica Hesse, Martheus and Janet Wade, Junebomb Kib, Freddie Williams II, Danielle Corsetto, Dan Adkins, Andrew Charpar, Dave Ryan, Lynn Workman, Dave Beatty. Is that right? He sent me the right way to say it. I think that's right.
Yeah. It might be.
Micah Stewart, Scott Neely, Jamal Igo, and newly announced Pixel Strips.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Kevin Volo and
Randy Gentile.
Randy Gentile, who's also letterer for virtual calligraphy.
Chris Eliopoulos, yeah.
And they are also going to be there. I think that brings a total number of guests to 20 now. Is that correct?
Yes. No, 21.
21, maybe?
It was 19. It was 19 with Jamal.
Wow.
So,
And Randy also does a really nice book called New York.
oh,
New York
that's
Comics,
right. Yes, I
which
forgot about that.
I really liked.
And he had the webcomic that he talked about on the one episode, too, which he started, too.
So maybe since Randy's coming now, maybe he can put some heat on Chris Eliopoulos, because I've been trying to get him to come, and he's been non-committal, so maybe now, some emails can fly back and forth.
Calling him out on the air.
That's right.
And then him and Scott Neely can have like a draw-off. Of,
That's right.
And of course, Chris can't show up anywhere without
Eric Larson. That's
So
Oh my God.
Wow.
and he tells 2 people, and so on, and so on, and so on.
And all of this is brought to you by IndigoInkPrint.com, ViperComics.com, HalfHourWasted.com, BushyTales.com, of course, the Fairground Square Mall, and Golden Eagle Comics. And we have a whole slew of prizes, just new additions. Bob Bretal's list is getting larger and larger of trades for the trivia match. And same thing with Chris Parton from ComicAddiction.com. We have 5 Walking Dead volumes to give away. Who else? I know Chris Gallo is going to bring a whole bunch of stuff for the trivia stuff.
And, why did I just totally... Oh, the guy who works for Marvel that we know?
Rich Ginter.
Yeah, Rich. Thank you. Jeez, I totally blanked. He's probably going to bring some essentials that he has stacked up on his desk.
Nice.
So,
And that's including the pile that we have. And we'll give more details as we go on. And don't forget about the T-shirt. $15 to bring Seraphin to the UK. From the UK. Thank you.
To bring him to England is pretty easy.
Yeah, that'll be cheap. I'll spring for it.
I'll pay for that. I'll pay for that.
well, it's just a short train ride since he's not in England.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And that picture of the T-shirt is actually up on the site now, so you
That's
can
right.
see. Check it
The
out.
final version is up there,
It's awesome.
and it looks very, very cool.
Only available by order. You can't pick it up at the
Correct.
actual event.
Correct. And at some point, we'll be closing off orders because we'll have to have time for them to print the T-shirt. So I would say, if you want a T-shirt, make sure you get your order in a good, I'm going to say we're probably going to have to close that off about 2 months before thing, which means you pretty much have 2 months to order it.
August 1st, making the cutoff. That's 2 months. That's 2 months. 2 months and 22 days. A month and 22 days.
Yeah, that should be close enough because we got to get the order in and everything.
And if you want, you don't have to be there to order it. You can order one and we'll send it to you. It's just an extra couple bucks.
Yeah, $3 for shipping in the U.S. and I think it's $9 for international
Right.
shipping. So
We'll
we'll be happy to send you a shirt.
Yep, be a part of 300 even if you're not going to attend. All right. I think that's it.
That's it. So now it's the Sal interview.
Good
Well,
luck.
it's not an interview. What the hell am I saying? It's a conversation with Sal.
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
All right, Sal, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, very good. It's a full house tonight. There's 7 of us here.
Man. Normally when you guys hear I'm on, you just decide, oh, what the hell, The guy's book doesn't sell more than a couple thousand. You figure, who cares?
You sound sick. Hello?
Yes.
Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I'm fine. What's happening? I can't hear you guys.
Oh.
I don't know. I got the volume all the way up.
All right.
You just sound a little under the weather.
No, man. I've been actually been out playing. I'm like the guy from Green Acres today, man. I was outside working in the yard all day, so... When you're out in the suburbs, man, you're playing Mr. Domestic now. What can I do?
Hire somebody.
Guys up to?
Just here recording some episodes and calling you to, bust your butt a little bit.
See what's happening?
Yeah.
You guys got spring fever yet, or what's going on?
Spring fever.
I don't know. They call that for the kids. They call it spring fever. They used to. I'm like, I heard that the other day. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, spring fever?
Because you're almost out of school. School's almost over.
That's
so you
right.
Can't sit still,
Yeah. No, shit. I wish I was back in school.
I know.
Yeah. I wish I was back in school, and I wish they let us take naps at 3:00 like they used to make us do.
I agree with you there, Sal.
Can you imagine if at 3:00 now they told you had to take a nap? Shit. I mean, right next to my desk, I wouldn't need anything. I mean, it would be like, yeah, okay. And I used to fight and cry and scream and all the rest of that shit. Now it's like, man, naps are a real good thing in the afternoon.
Hey, I take a nap every day. I go out to my car at lunch after I've eaten, and I read a few pages of a comic book, and then I take a nap.
Now, Sal,
is there something you're not telling us about your job, or what's the story?
No, I mean, I have my lunch hour, and I spend it in my car.
Oh, okay.
When I was home with my kids every day, 3:00 when they go down for a nap, I went down for a nap. It was beautiful.
Well, somewhere along the line we give ourselves this stupid idea that we're too important to do it. So or every time I take a nap, the phone rings and it's somebody that I have to talk to, and I usually swear at it and make 3 times, tell myself 3 times I'm not answering it, but then I usually pussy out and answer it anyway.
Well, you gotta go spend a few months in Tuscany or something. You can take all the naps you want there.
Man, Tuscany's nice. I got to tell you. I mean, it's one of those few places that it's everything they say it is. It lives up to all the expectations when you get down there. The food and the people are nice and the weather's great and it's still unspoiled. It's no Starbucks, but the rest of it's good. I hate to admit it that I'm a like the Starbucks drive-thru is it's like the greatest thing in the world. You want to feel like the bourgeois American. I feel like Zsa Zsa Gabor all the time every time I go through. It's like, and you just go through the drive-thru, you tell them what you want. You don't got to get your ass out of your car because you don't want to do that. You might burn about 5 calories. And you got them out there yet or no?
Oh, yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, they're pretty damn nice.
So we were trying to think before we called you. Did you hit another convention after the New York and after the book convention?
No, I did New York and I did Art Expo, and it was just like the fuck. It was like hitting the beaches in Normandy, man. I was just absolutely. I got my ass so thoroughly kicked at Art Expo. I lost a lot of money at that show that I was just still recuperating. I mean, I lost my ass at that show. I mean, and everybody was I told you so's, all came out to tell me that. But I knew it was a gamble, but I didn't think it was going to be that horrendous of a gamble. So it was just a gigantic waste of time, that Art Expo. And real expensive, like 3 to 4 times more expensive than a regular con. So I just decided, I'm going to take it easy because we're in like the full gear up for the baby mode now. We're doing the baby thing here, and we've got the, I mean, have you guys ever been to this place called Babies R Us?
Oh yes, yeah.
This is something out of a fucking Fellini movie. I'm telling you. This is the most unholy place that they can ever. I mean, they're like, you want to talk about where it's like one of those Aztec things where they're like still, cutting the throats of goats and shit and throwing babies into volcanoes. This is not a good place. I mean, my wife, it's the land of the $600 strollers. You know, Hummer makes a stroller, and Jeep makes
it's
a
all
stroller.
about the boogaboo.
They got one that looks like the little ship from, Lost in Space, if you want it. It's 2 aisles of nipples. It's just not good.
That don't do much anything.
That don't do anything. Yeah, there's an aisle of diaper dandies where you throw the dirty diapers, and you walk in and it's like a Kubrick thing where there's a giant baby faces everywhere you look. And the lady, there's only one lady at a counter all the way by the door, and it's all white everywhere you look. Everything's white. And you're like, Jesus Christ, what did I get myself involved with here?
It's got that sickening smell, that baby smell, and
No, and then everything, it's like a big scam, because nothing, you buy a crib, it doesn't come with a mattress, and she's like, well, it doesn't come with the bumpers or the lamp or the, the linen, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? What's a bumper? You learn these words that they just create for you to, like, get you to buy it. I'm like, I used to read National Geographic. Did they just wrap the kid in like a paper towel and lay him on the floor?
It's all about safety now, Sal.
Is that what it is? And then you got to register, and your wife wants you to sit there with her and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what the fuck any of this is. If there's no eternal back issues on there, I don't know what to tell you to order. If there's no Barely Legal Volume 1 through 12 on there, I can't tell you what to order, Because a guy named Simone bought the last 6 copies. So it's not on there. It's not good, guys. And then these packages show up at my house every day with like rattles on them, and they're pink, and they're and I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do with all this.
It starts to twist your head. It really does.
Yeah, this kid's room already looks like the laboratory of Frankenstein at this point, and I don't know what half this shit is supposed to do.
And keep it that way. Just stay out of it.
I'm telling you, man, I'm horrified, because I thought it was, when we were growing up, I mean, we walked into Babies R Us, and I'm not Abe Lincoln. I mean, I'm not a young guy, but I'm not fucking Winston Churchill either. I went into this store, guys, there's not one thing in that store I recognized that I knew what the hell it was. I'm like, I don't know what that is right there. What do you do with that? Oh, well, you know what that is, don't you? I'm like, no, I don't, but I know it's $180.
Now,
I know everything's $165, and that's $372. But that's the better one. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the shitty one is, so I don't know what the other one is. And you go with your wife, and you're supposed to be, everybody keeps reminding you that this is this magical time, and I'm like, it is? I thought, let me know when he's got a hat on and a mitt, and then I'll talk to you.
The magic is the fact that your bank account disappears.
It's gone. I mean, every time I turn around, it's the baby. It's all about, you're waiting for the baby. It's like I'm waiting for Simone to come and stay with me for 18 years is what I'm waiting for at this point.
It'll probably be cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. This fucking guy to show up. I mean, it's like everything is like you got to have people come to childproof your house. I'm like, I don't need anybody to come to childproof my house. I know what to do.
Smack their hand.
Basically, keep them from falling down the stairs. That's all I know.
And that's the way it was 20 years ago.
You stuck your finger in, you shot yourself across the room, and you learn not to stick your finger in there.
And then you just went to school and told people you got a perm. That's what Angel Medina used to do with those Puerto Rican, perms he had.
Come on, I met Angel Medina in Pittsburgh. He's a nice guy. Come on.
You met? Did you guys meet Angel?
Yes.
Yeah, he's the greatest. Isn't he a sweetheart?
Hung out with him a little bit.
He's got a really twisted, dry sense of humor, though, that if you don't get it, he can scare you. I've known people that he scares the shit out of because he's got a really weird sense of humor, that guy. But he's a funny guy.
Yeah, we hung out with him a little bit up at one of the penthouse parties and just talking, about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, let me tell you something. When we used to get together with that group, we started a long time ago. We used to have this Thursday night group of I forget who put it together. It was like a local group of Chicago comic artists who all used to meet at this bar. It was Alex and Angel and Hillary Barda and Mitch O'Connell and just a bunch of guys. It was all a bunch of retards all getting together to talk about comics. Kind of like what you guys do. It was all comic artists, and nobody really was very sociable because it's not like we were hanging out smoking a joint or something. We were sitting around talking about Calabac and shit like that, And Angel from the word go was like really, really cool to me, and because that guy was working in comics since he was like 18, and I wasn't, wasn't doing anything like that, and he was already working on. I think he just got Black Wolf, if you remember Black Wolf, but he'd been doing shit way before that. So this guy's been in comics for like shit over 20 years. That guy, sweetheart, short but sweet.
So, how's your wife?
You got to give him a telephone book to sit on when you eat dinner with him, but nice guy.
How are you dealing with your wife and the transformation that is pregnancy?
Well, the playground's closed, so so it's like I don't know what that means, because shit, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. So you're like roommates again, which is nice because she doesn't have as much leverage on me as she used to have. She can't run as fast, and she can't use that martial arts shit on me anymore because her stomach's in the way. But it's hard, man. She sleeps a lot. That's all. That's one of the things, and she's getting to where I've registered for Chicago. For Artist Alley, for Atomica, and it's the weekend. She's due that weekend, so we got in a huge fight about that. And how could I go to a con the weekend she's having the kid? And I'm like, well, those due dates are they're like that little knob on the toaster that tells you what shade it's going to be. It's not real. It doesn't work. It's bullshit. The due date is like the guy just goes, let's say the middle of August. That sounds good. And so I'm like, I've been going to Chicago Con since the 70s, for Christ's sake, and I'm not going to not go because some sawbone tells me my kid is going to be born that day. So if I'm there and I'm in Artist Alley, bullshitting in the quarter box and the phone rings, I'll come meet you at the hospital. No big deal. But I'm not going to, stop everything and be like, what am I going to be, like Dick Van Dyke, sleep with my clothes on and all the rest of that shit, or what? Come on. So, I'm like, I'm not going to not go to, what are you talking about? Hey, they told me business as usual, right? Okay, business as usual. It's not like I said I'm going, we're going to a whorehouse that weekend. I'm going to a con, for Christ's sake. And the con is 10 minutes from my house. I live right over there now, I'm out in the suburbs where, everybody waves at you and people say hello and shit.
Now, what if the baby...
I'm sorry, I'll be serious.
What if the baby comes a week or two before the con?
Guys, I'm going. That's all I'm going to say. I live 10 minutes from Rosemont. So, this kid is not going to, be traumatized the rest of his life if I'm gone, a couple of the days, I'm not going to spend the night. I don't need to spend the night like I used to. When I was living in the city, I used to get a room at the Hyatt, because everybody does the Knuckles thing, at the Hyatt. But now, I could just drive home. It's 10 minutes away, so...
So does that mean if we go to Wizard World Chicago, we got a place to stay?
Oh yeah, you guys could change diapers, and eat bottles, and all the rest of that shit. Sure. Simone wanted to come in for the birth of the baby. He told me. Yeah. You can imagine how that conversation went with my wife. I'm like, hey, Kaz, Simone wants to come and stay with us. What do you think? She's like, what? No, I was like, no. I said, Simone, you got to be out of your mind. And you realize that, right?
It would be like having two little kids there.
No, he's more retarded than a little baby. No, I'm kidding. Simone's great, but he talks in his sleep, and he's a sweetheart of a guy. But he's, like I said, he's like a force of nature when you have him at your house. He's a crazy dude.
Did I tell you I should be seeing him when I go to Italy?
Yeah, definitely hook up to him. You're going. You said you were going there for a wedding, right, or something like that?
Yeah, and then we made 2 days in Lucca, and his sister Gloria helped us get the reservation at the place that we're staying, and because there was a whole fiasco with how they wanted.
Yeah.
They wanted us to wire money.
You're gonna love it. It's great. And there's such great little restaurants in in Luca. Be sure he takes you to this place called Leo's. It's fantastic. I mean, and I'm talking, they're all just like mom and pop type restaurants. They're nothing. That's what's great about them. And everybody couldn't be, sweeter to you. And they've got this old Coliseum there that they turned into, like, people built houses on top of it now. And there's this big open square where everybody sits and drinks and talks and bullshits. And it's and you go there and you're like, Simone, you want to move to Brooklyn and you live here, huh? And he's like, yeah, it's more exciting. I mean, it's like this little medieval town out of like a storybook, and he wants to move to Brooklyn, and live in a 6th-floor walk-up. I'm like, you're crazy. I mean, it's unbelievable in Luca where he lives. And all he needs is a FedEx box to send his pages. It's not like years ago we had to live in New York to work in comics. You're gonna love it. You'll have a good time.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Watch the vino, man. Too much vino. And gelato. Too much gelato, man. Gelato. I ate my way out of like 3 sizes of pants with that damn gelato. It's not a good thing. I mean, you turn around and you got a pair of hairy tits. Gross. Yeah. Yeah, no, man, that gelato is... They don't give you... You sit down in a restaurant, and they don't give you water, but they give you wine. That's the weirdest thing about the Italians. You sit down, and they put a glass of wine in front of you, like we give, complimentary water here. That's what they do. So you're sitting there, and you didn't even order it, but you just get like a free glass of wine as soon as you sit down. And they just keep refilling it. And you turn around, and it's like 1985, and you go, where the fuck am I? It's like Easy Rider. You're wearing a football helmet on the back of a motorcycle before you know it. Most of the guys that listen to the show are like, I don't understand. There's somebody in it called Captain America. When I was a kid, I watched that movie 4 times because there was somebody in it called Captain America. And I'd fall asleep going, I didn't see Captain America. I didn't see Bucky. I didn't see Hydra. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I appreciate all those references, Sam.
I'm sorry. I'll keep them from, it's like I gotta. It's like with my wife. I make references to her all the time that she doesn't know who the hell they are. So because they're like before, say, 85, she doesn't know anything.
Have you seen Spider-Man yet?
You know what? I haven't, because everybody that I know saw it and complained about it, and then Buzz, of all people, sent me like a bootleg copy of it.
Whoa.
These shifty Asians, man, I'm telling you. He's fucking guy. I go, hey, he goes, hey, did you see Spider-Man yet? I go, no. And he goes, good, I sent you a copy of it. I'm like, great. But knowing him, it's the Chinese guy standing in the theater with the camera, You hear him talking and farting and arguing with the guy behind him in the theater, that kind of shit. So, no, I haven't gone, man. These last couple weekends, I have been like, I'm like, it's like, Regis and Kathy Lee over here on the weekends, for Christ's sake.
I was going to say, you sound a little, I don't know what it is. I don't know, maybe you're just a little, like a little defeated or something. There's something going on.
No, I'm good. I mean, I'm like, yesterday was Mother's Day. We had the huge barbecue, with me and all my brothers, and everybody gets together. And, of course, I got to do all the work and all the shopping and all that shit. And now it's a lot of work, man. I mean, we got this with this house. We're putting together the nursery and all the rest of this shit, and man, it's like I got different parts of my day that I have to decompartmentalize shit. I got to work here to make money, and then I got to work on my own stuff at this time, and then I got to put together baby chairs at this time, and
doing everything leading up to the baby really can be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's one of those. Had I known it was going to be like, it was going to be like this big, summit meeting with the Soviet Union to like talk about strategic missiles, I wouldn't have even. I would have, got sterilized a long time ago. Honest to God. It's and then of course there's the anxiety of no sex. So I'm back to good friends with I know the Korean's first name again at the corner at the video store, so that's good. Hey, listen, you don't masturbate in a while, you lose those skills. I mean, their skills, you lose your chops. I mean, I was good. I had it down to, when I was younger, 3 a day, and, you rub one out. And now I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore,
Oh, my God.
Because when you're married, you're like, all right, look, there's certain have-tos in my life, like, well, I don't want to do, well, listen, you know what percentage of my life is what I want to do versus what I have to do? Okay, oral is in that category, all right? So I don't feel like it doesn't fit into the frame of my life anymore for either of us. It just happens. That's how it goes. But now when you're pregnant, you got that note from the principal saying you can go home and sit and watch I Love Lucy all day while everybody's at school. So I'm sitting here, and you wake up with a club in your hand every morning because, this little bundle of joy is on the way. So, and I'm like, yeah, okay, great. I understand all that procreation shit. What about me? Okay, when does it come back to Sam is what I want to know.
Never.
You become, I'm like Ted Bundy when I drive around. I stop at a light, I'm like, oh, look at her. She's got to be how old? What, about 60? Jesus, look at that.
I tapped that.
It's so you want to know why I sound like an asshole? There you go. I said it.
He's
why
back
I sound
up.
like a jagoff? Okay, I'm going to need all of you in the trial. That's all I'm going to say.
So you're using the DVDs of the Golden Girls as porn now?
No, I'm more of a rough and tumble kind of guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm not a girl on girl guy. That I could tell you. I don't know, for whatever reason. I'm not big on every porno has got to have the girl. I'm not. That doesn't do it for me. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy. So when they get, because I see the two girls together, and I think, all right, they got that look on their face, like, well, there's no penis here, so let's just kind of make the best of it here, But it's like making a martini without vodka. It's just, what's the story? We'll use what we got. We're not going to get drunk, but we'll use what we got.
So you're not going to go. You're still going to San Diego, though, right?
Oh yeah. Oh my. Yeah. Well, no. Okay. I'm going to go to Mocha.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to Mocha, and I had to skip Philly and I had to skip Charlotte. We got in a huge to-do with Wizard because they're really angry with us. Alex is, doesn't want us to do it because of, I won't go into it, but we got treated, poorly at Chicago last year. And I told him, I says, well, I'm going. I agree with you 100%. He doesn't really think we should go because of the way they treated us, and I agree with him. But I'm trying to keep my life as normal as possible in the summer because of all the craziness that's going on, So I would say I'm 90% going to Chicago, but that 10% might be Alex saying, hey, you're going to have to go cut limes again if you go. So that means going back to be a bartender. But San Diego, no, we're planning for it as we speak, and that's a huge thing for us. That's one of our biggest shows of the year. So no, San Diego's if I'm not there, it's because I'm dead.
Well, I just asked because your wife was with you at Mocha last year, so I don't. She's probably not.
Yeah,
able to go,
she ain't
right?
coming to Mocha this year. No,
Okay.
that ain't happening. So, not if you see me there and I'm like with a TV set under my arm, that's because I told her she couldn't go, and she just said, "See you later."
TV set.
Yeah, I'll be there and I'll be like, "Hey guys, can I stay with you?" I'll have all these Justice originals with me.
Well, at that point, she's not allowed to fly, so you have an out.
Good. No, that's good. That's good. I better stop. It's just Mocha is last year. Mocha was good, but it wasn't too crowded. We hit times of the day when it was just dead. But yet there's other times when, man, that show is just electric as could be and crowded and great, and you're meeting a lot of creators. I mean, you see a lot of but then now they expanded it. They moved more tables upstairs, so I'm hoping that there's not times of like last year. I get there. I try to treat it as professionally as possible. I get there as soon as they open in the morning. 10 o'clock, I'm there, and that Mocha crowd, they come in at 1. 12:30. I'm talking about the creators. I mean, like all the booths, people were just kind of milling in whenever they feel like it. And now they've added more tables upstairs, which is nice because the upstairs is really nice. I don't know if you guys have ever been up there, but we'll see. It's any excuse to go to New York in the summertime is it's worth it.
Well, that's why I was going to say some of us are planning on going up. I'm trying to go. I think I'm going to be there all weekend, but Jamie and Brian and you're going to go too, Shane. They want to go up on Saturday. That's the plan, to go up on Saturday. So I was going to say, if you're in town by yourself, we'll hook up. We'll go to that Burmese restaurant.
No, we'll
Come on.
definitely get together. I'm going to come in. I used to, when I go with my wife, we kind of would turn it into a little vacation because we lose most of the summer because July is San Diego and then August would be Chicago. So I would always be doing a lot of work. But this year I'm just going to go in on Friday and then leave on Monday. But yeah, no, definitely we'll hook up. And Buzz usually comes into town. He doesn't do Mocha, but he usually meets me in town and we get together and then hang out that night. And then because you've been there, Peter. It's a casual show. You don't have to get up early in the morning and it doesn't go late. That type of thing. So, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's a good show.
How does Atomica do there?
We do okay. I mean, we do better than I thought I would because I've done independent shows before where I'm really not as independent as a lot of guys are. I did Ape, and I'm like, my God, to do Ape, you have to have your book bound with like yarn or something, I mean, I wish I could go back to Ape. It was just too small for me to justify, flying all the way out to San Francisco and and all that kind of stuff. It was and there's just a lot of books that are super super small press. I mean, that they're literally making them by hand almost. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Lord knows I'm a big independent guy, but I was kind of not. I didn't fit in the niche as much there as I did at Mocha, but. We do good. We go through a lot of books. People seem to pick it up out of, people go there, people seem to go to earmark Mocha to pick up books, which is good. You get people really picking up a lot of stuff, spending money. So, and it's a cool venue. We have it in the Puck building. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it. That should be a lot.
Yeah,
of fun.
no, there's a lot. I don't get a chance to walk around and buy as much stuff as I would like. I have to kind of hurry, to just run around real fast to see what I mean, not all of it's for me, but there's a lot of good stuff. I picked up a lot of books there last year, and then you some of them look innocent enough, and then you get them on the plane, and you're like, oh, there's sodomy in this, huh?
Sounds like something you could use right now.
Yeah, thanks. You get to, it's about a little owl, and then you find out, oh, that's what the owl does.
Oh.
Sorry, it's from the East Village. I get you. That kind of shit. No, I mean, you ever picked up independent books like that? Where, see, I like independent books, but like independent books where it's just like 22 pages of like self-loathing. Oh, woe is me. I got beaten up. When I was in high school, kind of books. I'm like, guys, I don't want to hear this shit. Really. I sympathize with you, but I don't want to hear it. Talk about something else. I don't like the kind of self-absorbed kind of comics where they just sit and put themselves in situations where, oh, woe is me, and I never got laid, and I did. Yeah, okay, well, that's what Swamp Thing was. If I wanted that, I'd read Swamp Thing.
What? Even Swamp Thing.
No, Alex always had a great analogy about why he loved Swamp Thing as a kid, and Swamp Thing is the guy in high school who can't get laid. You're a big dorky guy who kind of wanders around, and everybody kind of pokes fun at you, and you can't get the girl. That's Swamp Thing,
What about that? What about that, Alan?
Hey, and Man Thing was just Marvel's rip-off of Swamp Thing, but what are you going to do?
What about Alan Moore's story where he actually did get laid?
I didn't get that far.
Oh.
I started to get into the Alan Moore stuff a little bit, but I was so hooked on the Bernie Wrightson stuff that the first, I want to say the first 13 issues that Buzz turned me on to that Bernie Wrightson did. I don't know if you guys, are big on that part of it. But, I remember I read the one where they, smoke part of him, with that Alan Moore roast.
They eat part of the tubers that are growing on his back, and they hallucinate.
I've done that before with me, but it's not nearly as fun.
People have eaten things off of you?
Yeah, I find shit growing on me.
That's a horrid thought.
When you get an ass as big as mine, you get undergrowth. What are you gonna do? You get scales and shit. And, got an ass like a tuba. That's what's gonna happen.
Jesus Christ.
I'm staying off the subject of my ass this conversation, guys. I always seem to go in that direction, But I did find that at Babies R Us they have the Huggy Wipe warmer, which was interesting.
Yeah. Yes,
and I'm like, okay, so now the kid needs you to warm those Huggy things before you wipe them, huh?
So you
when
don't wake
did
them
this
up.
shit start? I'm like, even like Yul Brynner in the Ten Commandments doesn't have shit like that.
That's so you don't wake them up in the middle of the night when they pooped themselves and you got to
Is
change
that
the
what it
diaper.
is?
That's the theory. The
No,
cold
isn't
doesn't
it when
wake them up.
he shits in the middle of the night, he woke me up? Isn't that how it worked?
Yeah, how would you know that he shit himself? Because you'd be sleeping if he's not crying.
No, I want one of those. I told him, I said, you guys have everything in here except my invention, which is one of those screamer helmets. I want a helmet called the Screamer, which is when they cry, you put it on them. It's like a NASA helmet, and you can't hear them scream.
The cone of silence.
Yeah.
Like those divers bells.
Yeah. It's like, it'll be even better. Yeah, one of them diving helmets. Put him in that, and then shut it, and he's got oxygen, and he's safe. But I need to get some sleep. Reruns of Starsky and Hutch are coming on in a half an hour. I want to watch the fucking thing. No.
Just put the baby inside Skeets.
Yeah.
Now I have to say, maybe I'm an odd duck. I didn't mind getting up with my kids when they were screaming. I did it a lot.
I still don't.
I did.
How'd you manage that?
Well, there's nothing I can do when she wakes up. It means she wants to eat, and I can't feed her. So Tasha wakes up, and I have to get up early to go to work. So,
well, that's the deal. Exactly why I did it, because my wife worked and I stayed home. So I stayed up. She feed
guys,
them.
you're getting into really scary conversations for me.
And Shane had the bigger tits, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
doubt it.
I think I probably got bigger tits than both of them.
It's all that gelato.
That's gelato, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, we had a guy in Pittsburgh. He was buying his first. I'm actually going to get serious. I think he was going to buy his first original artwork. He was going to buy a Strangers in Paradise page, and I thought, you work in Alex Ross original art, and there's no higher quality of original art to buy or whatever. But
he might be listening, so I'll agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. But no, I just thought maybe you'd give maybe some advice of what people should look for in original art, and what's the
well, it's like it's the simple rules. The simplest rules are with comic art, or like with anything you're going to collect. That I agree with, whether it's baseball cards or whatever. First of all, if you're, I ask guys, look, you buying this for an investment, or are you buying it because you like it? Because buy what you like, and don't worry about the value, going up, and I'm buying this to sit on it, so it'll be worth $1 million. That's fine. But if you buy something you don't like, and then it doesn't go up in value, now you're stuck with, a Chap Yap page that you're just like, what the fuck am I going to do with this? And you wind up pissed off, or like you lost money. So buy, like I started buying, my favorite pieces of art that I own are like stuff that I, just nobody cared about. Like I bought Kirby stuff from the 70s. And most people are like, oh, yeah, but you got to have an FF page. And I'm like, guys, look, there's certain pages and certain books, have different, certain meaning to different people. So when people come to me and they're like, well, what would you tell me if I wanted to buy this as an investment? I'm like, well, that's fine. But, you got to find somebody, you got to kind of keep your ear to the resale market then. But there's a ton of great art out there that you don't have to spend a lot of money on if you're looking for just a certain page. Try to get a page that's not so conversationally. Try to get a page that's got main characters on it, because then it always has a better resale value. Covers and splashes are obviously better, or easier to sell. But for the most part, and get it framed if you're going to hang it. Use UV glass if you get it framed and it's color. All the basic rules, like with buying anything, I tell people with art. Look around, because you get some guys who, will ask $1 million for things that, aren't really worth it. eBay's good for that now. Be leery of international buyers on eBay because, once they got your money, PayPal, or, never use Western Union and never email anybody money orders overseas because, man, once they got your dough, it's over. Ask for references. Like if you don't know a buyer, email me. Anybody out there wants to buy a piece of art from a guy, a dealer especially, and he doesn't know anybody and doesn't know if this guy's full of shit or not, email me, and I can tell you if I know he's full of shit or not. Because I'm real good at knowing full of shit art dealers. And, and buy, again, back to the beginning, buy something you think is cool, because then you could always hang it up. I've got stuff, Kirby pages that I paid, $100 for, that are my favorite pieces of art, and I've got stuff that's more expensive that I don't even like as much.
So what do you attribute to what appears to me to be a huge increase in the cost of original pages? 7 years ago, when I bought my first page, it was actually at the Chicago Con 7 years ago. I was looking through a bunch of pages, making up my mind, and I got a John Romita Jr. page from an issue of Spider-Man that had Spider-Man in the costume, J. Jonah Jameson, and Peter Parker and Mary Jane, and it was $60. And
Who'd you buy it from?
I don't remember.
Buy it from a dealer? Did you buy it from an inker? Or that's another trick. Before I forget, if you see inkers in Artist Alley, buy originals from them, because when let's say hypothetically John Romita Jr. works on Spider-Man with Bill Reinhold, okay? When Marvel returns the art, they split it in half. They send half to JR, they send half to Reinhold. Excuse me. Now, no offense to inkers, but most inkers, when they don't pencil it, they don't really have as much emotional attachment to this stuff as the artist does. So they're willing to sell it much cheaper. I've seen inkers with Steve Root pages and JR pages and other, really good artist pages for a lot less than the actual artist would be selling them for, which is, bad for the artist. But hey, if the fan is, wants to get a good page for, less than the artist would sell it for, great. What attributed to why it's more expensive?
Yeah.
It could, once an artist gets big, that has an effect on it, because every artist has a huge ego, that they want. I mean, that's just the nature of artists, is you have a big ego, and they want their stuff to go for more money. The market's changing. All the baby boomers and, guys in their 30s who were growing up with comics now got jobs and got disposable income. So we want to buy. I mean, people bitch at me. They go, "Oh my God, you kill me. You priced the little man out, with Alex Ross original art." And I'm like, guys, Warner Brothers and these guys are selling giclées and lithographs for like $1,500, and I've got originals for less than that. So why am I the bad guy when there's guys selling posters? Which, if you guys knew what that stuff cost, I mean, you're telling me that my prices are too high. So it's just it's all perception. What something's worth. I got into a situation with Alex where I based my pricing, because when I started working with Alex, we were just friends first. We knew a lot of the same people, and then when he asked me to help him, that's how it started. He said, "Hey, can you help me kind of organize some of this stuff and put this stuff together?" I didn't know anything about where the market was with Alex's stuff, because he was just getting ready to really explode after Kingdom Come. I looked around at what Albert Moy and what all the other art dealers were selling Alex's originals for, and that was my starting point. So when these other dealers come to me and they complain now about how, "Oh, you're Satan and your stuff's so expensive," I'm like, "Hey guys, I got these prices from you. You're mad at me because they were buying his art from his old dealer for like nothing, and they were jacking up the prices times 10 on eBay in like 10 minutes. So I'm like, guys, I'm just kind of following the market, kind of, the crack dealer who's just kind of going, hey, if they're going to pay it, that's what it's worth. And then with Alex, he's a different beast. I mean, he's kind of become like Coca-Cola, where I've got, the website, we've got, these guys from overseas that are just crazy about Alex's stuff, because even though it's comics, it's painted and it's high-end stuff that you can hang in your living room and not know anything about comics, and it still looks like a great watercolor painting. Problem with black and white art is that when you frame it for art collectors now, this is when we're getting into that, quiche eating group that pay for my stroller and my $600 Hummer baby chair. You want to buy something color, because when you frame something black and white versus color, it's very, very one-dimensional hanging on your wall. So, most of the guys, art collectors now, started to get into the Alex thing after the Christie's auction. After the War on Crime Christie's auction kind of created that whole thing where the Alex became the heavy hitter when Batman Over Gotham sold, for $70,000. I wasn't there, but I wasn't his dealer then. I was there, and that's when the light bulb went on that maybe I should leave the bar and help the guy, But that kind of created, Alex into a different market, different kind of, But my God, there's so much good art out there now that you could buy, for under $100 or even in the few hundred. Like I just saw a double-page splash on eBay that Rags Morales did of X-Men. That was just fantastic, that I bid on and I fell asleep on it. I think it went for like $150, and it's fantastic. It was like, unbelievable that a lot of stuff can go, inexpensively. You got to kind of shop around for it. It's not, you don't have to be a millionaire to buy art.
Because I'm seeing, like, at shows from the dealers, I'm seeing prices that 7 years ago I never saw. I'm seeing single pages for $400, and it's like...
what kind of prices are you talking? They were what, and they're now what?
Well, I'm trying to remember the specific artist, but I remember, like I said, in Chicago 7 years ago, I remember, like, being, oh my God, why did I never think about buying original pages before? This is the coolest thing ever. So I looked at a lot of pages, and my budget was pretty low, so I remember seeing things that were just out of my reach. Like, I remember seeing, I can't remember who it was. I think it was, I don't know if it was Jim Lee or some other big name, and it was a double-page spread, splash page thing of characters fighting, and I think it was $280.
Right.
And now, that would be $2,800 now.
Yeah.
So
probably. Especially again, it sometimes it depends a lot on what's happened to the artist in those 7 years. If you could get a guy like Eric Powell is a great example, who as soon as I saw his stuff on the Goon, I loved it, and I asked him to do a Atomica cover for me. And then right at the time I asked him was when everybody discovered this guy. So he, like, literally 3 months after I asked him, he was doing just more covers than he had, Marvel and DC, and everybody were hitting him up for covers. Same way with his art. I used to see him in Artist Alley selling pages for $50, Goon pages. Goon pages are now, $1,500 to $2,000. And I kicked myself for not buying them, but, at the time, I just commissioned him to do an Atomica piece, so I figured, well, that's the original, And so there's guys that, like, I tell people, Simone is like that, where you got to get them right when the pages are, when the guy's just getting going, and then, hope that, if you like it, and then if you're really buying it as an investment, hope that he becomes a big shot, and then the art will increase in value.
Yeah, it kind of sucks from a fan point of view, because I own 5 pages. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll never, ever sell them. They're mine, and therefore hanging in my comic room, and I can look happily at them. Now, I understand that when the guy sells them to me, they don't know if I'm going to hang it on my wall for 50 years or if I'm going to sell it.
That's the problem.
But
that's the problem. Everybody that tells me they're never going to sell it again, ironically enough, I see it again, and they sold it. So barring a phone call from Alex, I don't give anybody, I can't, I get a lot of guys, hey, I went to high school with Alex, what can you do for me? Or I was Alex's, I used to play the harmonica with him in a blues band. And I'm like, yeah, well, what do you want me to do? Can you give me a free piece of art? I knew Alex back when we were in Texas. Yeah, okay. There's nothing I can do. I have to treat it. See, I'm not like most dealers. Most dealers buy the art and then they sell it. They're like, basically like a fruit market guy. This art belongs to Alex. I'm like the go-between. If he just gives me the pages, and then I, sell them either on the website or at the shows, and then whatever, it goes back to him. if he wants the piece back. But the art is always his art. Most dealers don't work that way. I work that way with Simone, where I don't buy all of Simone's pages and then sell them, and then it all belongs to Simone. And then if he calls me up and says, "Hey, I want this or that," then I just send it back to him. But most dealers go in, buy the stuff by the inch. Mignola used to be like that. I mean, I remember I'd see Mike Mignola in Artist Alley selling Hellboy pages by the inch. I mean, he would sell you, 20 of them for whatever. What do you got? A couple $100? Yeah, that was before the movie. And then when the movie came out, then everybody went Hellboy crazy, and now you can't buy a Hellboy page for under a couple grand, unless it's like a skull talking to a tree. And it's $50. It's like, why is it so cheap? Well, it's a key with an eye, and then there's a dog there dead, and then he's talking. It's like a Last Tango in Paris thing. He's talking out of his ass and all that thing.
Right back to the ass. Right
back to the ass. But all I can say is that if you guys, anybody has any questions or you want, also, be careful. You got to kind of watch what you're buying too, because some originals can have a lot of stats on them. A lot of artists use stats. They'll mimeograph things to add areas, and then you'll buy an original and it'll have a lot of stats on it, and people will kill themselves because that's not worth as much. Just buy something you like.
That's what I've always gone by.
Most important thing. I got some Kirby Black Panther pages, that I bought that, again, $100 or $120 for them, and they're like the favorite pieces of art that I have.
I always had my idea of what characters I wanted to get or what artists I want to get, and I keep my budget around $100, and that's generally it.
Yeah. Well, there's certain artists that like Neil Adams is like that. Neil Adams, for the longest time, you could buy him, and now Neil Adams, forget about it. Good quality Neil Adams piece, they start at like $1,000, for a page, and then covers and something with Batman or Deadman on it. It's much more expensive. But that's it's Neil Adams, because his stuff. Everybody wants his stuff from the '70s. People don't necessarily want the new stuff.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Jack Kirby?
You know what? I didn't. He was one of the only guys that I everybody I knew met him, and he'd been at cons that I was at when I was younger, and I never really bothered him. But I was fortunate enough to meet John Buscema at the last con he ever did, because him and Jack were my heroes, and I'd been to a million cons, and I'd never seen John Buscema ever at a con, ever, because he didn't do American cons for whatever reason. And I was at San Diego, and I had a booth. Angel and I had a booth together towards the front of the building, and right across from us was John Buscema, and I was shocked because I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen this guy ever, and I didn't want to bother him because I don't like to bother, guys, for, hey, can you do me how about a Red Sonja piece or something? I didn't want to bother the guy. I just wanted to thank him, and he was the sweetest guy. And I'm glad I did. I normally don't, because I've done that before. I've approached heroes of mine, and I've always been disappointed. Like, fuck, why did I bother doing that? The guy's an asshole. But John Buscema was a sweetheart. He was, a sweet old guy, and he was really sick. You could tell he lost a lot of weight. And then, ironically enough, 3 months later, he passed away. So I was glad I did. But don't bother approaching Neil Adams. He's bullshit. He's an asshole. Ask anybody who's approached him, and they'll tell you the same thing. Ask Buzz. Buzz will give you Neil Adams stories.
Jamie, I mean, you had a similar experience in San Diego the first year, right? Or was it San Diego, I think?
Yeah, it was something I could just tell by watching and listening and just different things. He didn't seem like a very nice individual.
Ouch! I have to say,
he's just a cranky SOB.
Yeah,
I mean, he really is, and he's angry and he's bitter because he was really one of the most influential guys there was. I mean, in the '70s, the whole illustration movement is him, and there's a lot of artists that can't argue that like Alex and Sienkiewicz and all those guys will tell you how influential Neil was to them. But he's mad about that. He's mad that he's not, brought in on a barge and, being fanned off by, naked women at a con. And I approached him. When he was one of the first guys I've approached, and I've approached him on business levels before for stuff, and he's just a mean SOB. Oh. I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm still not an enormous fan, but you can like the art without the artist. Gil Kane was like that. I mean, a miserable SOB. But, I mean, he's one of my favorites. He's in my top 5, But I approached him at a con in early 90s, and he's just not a very sociable person. I mean, a lot of these guys, they're not, just because they didn't want to sit with me and talk about pasta doesn't mean that they're not great guys, or have me tell them ass stories doesn't mean that, But some of them are just, I feel, when I see them being kind of mean to kids, then I kind of think, hey, come on, Like when a kid wants to show you their portfolio, and I've seen Neil rip kids, new ones, who show them their portfolio, and it's like, then I think, okay, come on, I love you, but you're kind of crossing the line now.
In the first New York Comic Con, I stopped by and we talked about that a little bit, and you warned me about it, and I must have hit it on a good day because I had a nice, maybe 5-minute conversation with Neil Adams, and I got lucky again this year. So I mean,
it's like I said. I mean, I'm a huge fan. I mean, I really am. I mean, and it's just one of those things where he's just he and then you'll get him on those days where he wants to talk about the creation of the Earth. He's like a self-proclaimed geologist. I'm like, you'll go over there. I'm like, hey, I want to talk about Dead Man or something, and you're telling me how about crust in the Earth and shit. I'm like, Neil, nobody cares. Go back to your Batman stories, please. We don't want to know about crustacean and levels of, why this landed here and, why we have flies in North America. It came from Europe and all that shit. It's like, great. Good. Get back to Batman.
Could you imagine?
Talk about Green Arrow.
Could you imagine?
Talk about Muhammad Ali versus Superman. That's what I want to hear about.
Could you imagine if you had you and Buzz and Angel and all when you guys were younger had a show like this? Could you imagine the stories that would have came out?
It was you get minorities together, and that's the problem.
Oh. What the hell does that mean? What's that?
I mean, you guys, did you get Angel on a good day, or was he like Mr. Nice Guy with the briefcase, Angel, when you were talking to him?
The thing that hooked it was was mentioning you and I know Buzz. Jamie, you and Buzz, and he was and a light went on in his eyes, and he said, that guy, and he said, oh yeah, he knows you guys well.
Yeah, I said to him, I don't care what Buzz says, I can't pick you up and put you in my pocket. He's like, that fuck, you tell him that he wishes he was as good looking as me.
I mean this with all sincerity. Yeah, he is probably, if I had to pick one guy that, who's the coolest guy I know, it's in comics, it's Angel Medina. He really is. You could sit with him and shoot the shit about absolutely anything, and he has no motives, no ulterior motives behind it, and he's just the same guy now, that he was, when he started in the business. And he's, people forget how much stuff this guy does, and you'll never meet a guy who never misses a deadline, and my God, he would work on issues of Spawn without a script, and he's just, and his stuff gets better and better and better as he gets older. But
definitely,
he needs a higher chair when he's at cons. That's the problem. Because people walk by oftentimes and can't see him. It's the only problem. I tell him, Angel, you gotta stop pulling on my pants like I almost stepped on you. You find him caught in spider webs. It's just not good. Pull him out of there, guys, will you? You want to get to... He's another one of those dangerous son of a bitches where when you get together at the bar and start partying, oh, man, he'll get you in trouble. He'll get you in trouble,
Well,
he's like Buzz. He likes to throw a few back,
Well, we talked about bringing him on the show, and I know, when I was emailing you, you said, Sal said, you're not going to ambush me again with another creator. So
no, Angel is like, you got to really, I warn people about Angel because he's got a really dry sense of humor, that guy. And if you don't know it, you'll think that he doesn't like you, or you'll think, but he's got a really, really, once you're in on it's like a little inside jab. Once you're in on it and you know that he's really just fucking with you, then you're like, okay, phew, But I've known people that are like, I don't know, I don't think Angel likes me. I'm like, guys, that's what he does. He likes to bust people's balls, And, he doesn't take, he's not going to take things too seriously all the time. But he's got a great sense of humor. That's perfect. Which is, and a good guy to drink with, And, he's got some stories. I've opened a door at a party one time, and he had somebody's tit in his mouth. I won't say who. He asked about that. Yeah. I was like, okay. You invite a Puerto Rican to a party, you're going to find a tit to put in their mouth, that's for sure,
I got to go to more parties with Peter. That's all I got to say.
No.
There were 3.
He'll deny it to this day. He'll go, I don't know what you're talking. You're full of shit, and he'll change the subject and be like, all right, okay. I know what I saw.
That's going to be our opening question when we interview him.
Yeah. Ask him who in comics. They work in comics too. That's all I'm going to say. They're not. It's not a guy. Trust me. Angel's the most heterosexual guy you'll ever meet. But it was like one of those. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, there were 3 Puerto Ricans up at the in Pittsburgh. It was me, Angel, and Sam Vera from Crazy Comics, and we were talking about being Puerto Rican and not speaking the language.
He gets together with these guys, Angel, at Chicago. There's a couple of these guys who are hardcore artists that come up from Puerto Rico that for some reason I don't know if he could tell you better, but these are guys who are like professional illustrators that he hooked up with that are like, again, they fly into Chicago from Puerto Rico for Wizard World. And so I walked into Knuckles, and they were in the corner. There was like 5 of them with Angel, and it was just like, it was like the pride of San Juan Hill over in that corner. I mean, it was like I walked over, and I didn't hear one word of English. I mean, these guys were just throwing hardcore, and these were hardcore Puerto Rican guys. So when he gets with that Puerto Rican mafia, he's a different guy. He's like 5 feet tall when he gets with those guys. And I was like, hey, I thought he was like in trouble, like a coke deal went bad or something. I'm like, Angel, everything all right over here? And he introduced me to these guys, and they're sweet guys. They draw like not superhero stuff though. They have another comic. They do like and they've parlayed it into like merchandising and stuff in Puerto Rico, and I guess they're doing really well with it. So it's like, hey, anybody who comics is making a good living and doing well with it, God bless them. I'll see you guys at Knuckles this year.
Yes.
Maybe.
Are you big Knuckles guys or not really?
Well, we did last year.
Do the Knuckles scene, or you don't really care for it too much?
No, it was fun.
I just wish they had the no smoking in bars rule in Chicago like they do in New York.
Yeah.
That's brutal,
how about
that place.
They're getting stricter about it, that's for sure. I was in front of the hotel, and they told me I had to put my cigar out. I was sitting in front of the hotel, and the guy comes out and goes, "You can't smoke out here." I'm like, "Well, I'm outside, ain't I?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, but you're on our property or some such bullshit." And I'm like, "Great, Soylent Green, my God." I'm like, I was going to pull the Dago card on him, but nobody cares.
Not in New York, that doesn't play.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. I say, well, I bet if I wasn't Italian, you wouldn't tell me to move. He's like, no, we would.
We just use shorter words.
That's pretty much right. Yeah, you just throw something at me. But now you guys, now what's the last I heard was some of you were going and some of you aren't going to San Diego. I don't understand this.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm the only one who's going to San Diego of the group, but Peter may join us. He's still not sure about about your show.
No, I'm just not sure if I'm going.
Oh, okay. But then I'm the one who's
It's
definitely...
only a plane ticket away. I mean, that's
Right.
really all. You know.
I've got a room, so you got a place to lay your head. But yeah, I'm all set for that.
And everybody got hotel rooms and everything because it got ugly this year.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm like 13 blocks away, but I'm there.
Yeah. What are you in, like Tijuana, or are you in San Diego?
No, I'm in San Diego. I think I'm at the Radisson.
It's the same place we stayed last year.
Yeah.
Let's hope it has air conditioning this year. Oh, you don't care.
Let's hope it doesn't need air conditioning.
Well,
this
that's
year.
true. Yeah,
because normally
year,
you don't.
It was like a summer blast.
Yeah, it was. Let me see. Next year, Wizards moving Chicago to June, which will be interesting.
What?
Yeah. This is the last year in August because, for a variety of reasons, depending on who you listen to, Chicago's kind of been taking a hit since San Diego became the
So
pound gorilla.
Are they going to get rid of Philly?
I don't know what they're doing with Philly, but I know that the powers that be at Wizard told me they're moving Chicago to June next year.
Yeah, they have their schedule announced already, but I don't remember it being that early though.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out there, B.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, I guess that's 08 is in June, and then that's great because then New York is moving to April. So, I guess they're trying to kind of see. Chicago and Wizard used to always do that. They would always try to, because Chicago would always be in July, San Diego would always be in August. Back when the world was young, and then when the Democratic Convention came one year, they had it at San Diego, and they had to move San Diego to July instead of August, and then it stayed that way ever since. Well, that's a good time. I mean, I know it's spring when I'm putting my permits in for San Diego. I put those in this morning, so that the tax man can rape you.
Oh,
got to pay taxes, man. They don't fuck around over it. They won't even let you get your they won't when you check in to get your badges and I gotta whatever with your paperwork and start the dance with the Teamsters. You gotta show them your seller's permit, your California seller's permit, or they won't even let you get your stuff because they want to know what you sold at that showing, and they want a piece of the action.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's they used to be lenient with it. Now, I mean, I'm talking everybody who's selling anything, everybody from the Artist Alley guys to the retailers. I mean, when you check in, you got to show them your California seller's permit, or no go.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, a lot of guys wait till they get there, and man, you go down to that office when you get there, and it's like it's like fucking Sodom and Gomorrah down there. You go in and you go the lines around the block to get your permit. One year someone's like, I don't have a permit. What am I supposed to do? I'm like, bye. See you later. Have fun. I told you 6 months ago, but you want to play, pinch and tickle. That's what happens. I tell these assholes, and then they come to me, like I'm the fucking shell answer man, and I got to take care. I'm like, hey, guys, look at me. Look at my face. Do I look like someone that gives a shit? Okay. Tell somebody around here that fucking cares. Because it means if you get the permit means I don't have to see you for 6 hours. I'm happy. Get away from me.
Here, I found the schedule for 08. It's Philadelphia on May 30th through June 1st, and Chicago June 26th through the 29th.
Wow.
So they're like...
But you didn't believe me?
Well, I'm just getting the exact dates.
See, what the fuck does he know? Let me check.
Yeah.
No, I think it's good because Chicago has been, it's weird because a lot of the guys that I know can really do one or the other. Most of the guys I know at Chicago, it's hard, man, to get off time from work, and you know what I mean. It's hard to do both for a lot of guys financially too. So moving it to June, I think, is good. But like Peter said, what happens to Philly?
I mean, because why? That's the whole question. Philly was around that time last year, and now they moved it to.
You're right. Philly was the beginning of June because it was always back to back with Mocha.
Right.
But I think that was because they couldn't book it again this year. At that time, they had to book it later because something else had taken that spot already.
Really?
I think.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing Philly this year, and it sucks because I love that show. It's a good show. Good town.
So they already. Good heavens! So next year's Philly, Chicago, and Heroes all in June.
Yeah,
and Mocha and Toronto and.
Yeah, shit.
I mean, how are they going to get? How are all these conventions going to get
people.
I mean, you know, you're going to have the Paradise Toronto, which is small but still gets a lot of names.
Yeah.
Then Heroes, and then Chicago, Philly before that, Mocha, and San Diego. I mean, and whatever else is around.
And to start off with New York in April.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh the week after that.
Yeah.
Motor City Comic Con.
One of these conventions is going to pop.
Yeah.
It's going to suffer.
No, I mean, I don't know. Wizard just for a lot of reasons I could tell you about, off the phone. They just don't put as much into Chicago as they used to financially, for a lot of reasons. The biggest one being that fighting league is Garib's big investment thing now, and they don't hire a press agent and they don't get promotion. I mean, granted, and also by moving it out of out of August for them, it helps a lot in Chicago, because in August we have a lot of street fairs. We have Lollapalooza here in August. We have the Cubs. We have a lot of shit going on that interferes with Wizard. That, if you're going to go, I mean, that's the same audience that goes to Lollapalooza goes to, comic shows. It's the same demographic. So that's what happened in last year. I mean, in August, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. There were 3 major things going on in Chicago that weekend, which just pulled attendance away from Wizard World. And, not to mention, after San Diego now, my God, people are hearing, word of mouth is growing for San Diego. So if you're going to take off time and money and all that, the rest of that shit, and you're going to do one or the other, people are leaning towards San Diego now, because they can get drunk with, Jamie. Jamie's one of those guys. I see him as the type who's drunk on the plane. Is that true or not?
I wish. No, I actually.
You got like the ankle flask, or do you just kind of? Is it like the ball game where it's the binoculars that you open up?
I don't even drink. I honestly don't. No, I'm a diabetic, so I don't drink. I drink on occasion. But no,
you took down 2 shots in Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, because people were all pussies about the freaking shots of Grey Goose, and they're all acting like they were drinking ethanol. Good Lord, it was like zip, and it was down.
I get the problem with the assholes that I get is that they're all jagoffs in my life, every one of them, because it's like I like I'm trying to keep a certain. I mean, I like to party as the next year, but every time I go to the bar, they want to start doing shots, and I'm like, all right, guys. Anybody who's got to get up after 2 in the afternoon, you're out of the picture of giving me a hard time, because most of these guys don't even get up. Like Buzz wasn't even going to the con a lot of days. There's a perfect one for you. He's yelling at me why I'm not partying with him, and I'm like, Buzz, did you go to the con today? He's like, no, we were hanging out at the pool. And I'm like, great. So in other words, you could just sleep whenever. Get up and, watch porn and then, chant and then, go back to the bar. And then you walk by the son of a bitch and he's like, hey, we're doing Patron, we're doing shots of tequila. And I'm like, I haven't fucking used the bathroom today yet because I've been standing there smiling and grinning at all these assholes all day.
Oh, jeez.
And then you're when you got a booth, you become like the fucking locker station at Greyhound. Everybody's like, hey, can I leave this here? Can I leave that there? And now it's like there's people that I like to help out, but when you say yes in front of people you don't like, now you're screwed. Like you guys, perfect example. Love to help you out because I know what a colossal pain in the ass it is to carry shit around that con. Especially San Diego, which is the worst one to have to lug shit. But then I get like my brother-in-law and his wife, and hey, can we leave our cookie jars back here? And we bought 400 fucking Jar Jar Bings glasses. Can we leave them back here? And I'm like, hey guys, what is this? It's like I'm not running a soup kitchen back here. I'm tripping over shit and going. Who's it? What is this? Whose R2D2 mailbox is this? And they're going, oh, a guy who said he knew you, said it was okay. And I'm like, I did? I'm like, the fuck is this? So, then I walk back to the hotel, and when I get out of the con, I got one thing on my mind, food. That's it. I want to eat because the food at the con, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, the $60 cookie, and $22 for a Coke, and you know the three transvestites that I run the booth with complain about the food all day, and you know, me, I'll eat the ass out of a goat when I'm hungry. I don't care, you know. These three fucking Liberace impersonators that I work with, we're going where for lunch? Oh, I don't know. That's a little too. It works. You know, you're like, guys, I just need to eat something here. Well, why does it always have to be a fucking 2-hour discussion? I mean, trying to get lunch at my booth is like picking a child in Cambodia that you're going to adopt. That's how these guys are. And I go, just whatever, a burger, whatever. I'm sending my nephew to get food. And I turn around and I'm like, why are you still here? He's like, because Chris wanted to look at the menu again. He wasn't sure what it was. I'm like, what fucking menu? What are you talking about? This is like high school cafeteria food we're talking about here, you know? I'm like, I just need food. So 8 o'clock runs around, and I've had like a bag of corn nuts and, you know, and like a piece of cotton candy I found on the floor. And, you know, yeah, something I stole from someone left half a hot dog laying on the table. I ate that, you know. I want to go eat. And these guys are like, hey, we want you to come over here and meet this guy. He just came from, I don't know, somewhere, and he's got a book about a Pakistani guy that runs a 7-Eleven. I'm like, exciting, great. Let's fucking go eat, guys. That's all I want to hear when I leave San Diego.
Sal, you can. I'll work your booth for you, and you can just feed me ramen noodles. That's fine.
I could do what?
You'll
work? No, I didn't hear the ending. I
you
thought
could just
it was something
feed.
dirty you said. I wanted to be sure I heard it right.
No, I said you could just feed me ramen noodles. I'll be fine. They're 15 cents a pack.
No, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's like it's and then when it gets crowded, oh my God, good luck getting food. I mean, so I'm like, I send my nephew out to wherever, you know, Subway, Chipotle, anything. I don't give a shit, you know. And these guys turn it into like, you know, the Great Gatsby all of a sudden when it comes to fucking getting lunch at San Diego. And I can put up with a lot of shit, but not if I don't eat like every 6 hours, there's a problem. You know, it's like Submariner with water. You know, I'll become the guy with the beard wandering around New York for 20 years if I don't eat. They'll find me frozen in ice with Eskimos chanting, you know, if I don't eat. And I'm like, you guys, you know, and I started sending my nephew out. We were practically getting into fist fights over what we were going to eat for lunch because these prom queens couldn't figure out what they wanted to eat. Yeah, no, I mean, it was that fucking bad. And I'm standing there going, wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't I pay you fucks? I mean, aren't I the guy that has to, like, you know, take your salary out of my commission? Isn't that how it works? All right, this is what we're going to do. I want you to go to, like, the first Mexican restaurant you find down the street and just get whatever and come back. And anybody that doesn't like it, it's too fucking bad. That's what I need to do. But I'm nice. You give people choice. So now I'm standing behind that 40-year-old yuppie lady at Starbucks who can't figure out how to order a cup of coffee. You know?
I don't think you
We were in Chicago. My therapist says I should vent. So. We were in Chicago, and my nephew's there, and I go, you know, he lives around there. I go get us some lunch. There's 4 of us. I go get us some lunch. He's like, what should I get? He goes, I go, I don't know, anything. Just, you know, anything but McDonald's, just whatever. So he goes, Chipotle. I go, fantastic. Just go, and you guys been to Chipotle, right? It's burritos and tacos. That's it for white people. It's not real Mexican, but you know it fills the cavity. You know you're hungry. Hey, what's the big deal? It's you know the ugly girl at the Uriah Heath concert. Who gives a shit? You know we're never gonna see her again. So I'm standing there, and then I start talking to some guy. I don't know what the fuck. Somebody asked me some stupid question about Captain Marvel or some bullshit. I'm going, yeah, right, yeah, okay, whatever. So I turn around, and half an hour later, my nephew's still sitting there. And I said, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Go get lunch. I told you like an hour ago. What am I going to do? What is this? What, do I got to write it in fucking Braille? Go! He's like, Chris is looking online at Chipotle's menu. First of all, Chipotle's got a website. Okay, I didn't know that, but I'm like, what? I'm like, Chris, what are we doing? What are we doing? Are we getting fitted for a tuxedo? We're getting a fucking burrito. What's the matter with you? So I told my nephew, I says, Joey, bring back whatever. He don't want it. Too fucking bad. He won't eat it. You know, I mean, I try to be nice with these guys, and they treat it like, I'm telling you, like they're on the Love Boat. And I'm Julie McCoy all of a sudden. You know? And I ain't putting up with that shit this year, I'm telling you. When it's time to eat, it's time to eat. You know, it's like just throw a bagel at me, you know. And that line for Starbucks, I got somebody in line in San Diego now waiting for me. And by the time I get out there, I can get my mocha before I love people. You want a cup of coffee? I'll get you a cup of coffee. So they bring me a cup of coffee. It's like 4 o'clock. I'm like, hey guys, I asked you at like 9:30. What the fuck, you know? I'm like, no, I don't want it now, you know, or you know, it's but.
See, you should do the Pittsburgh con because they bring hamburgers around to you.
Oh, yeah. You know, I've looked into that, guys. They offer catering, you know, these cons. But it's shit. I mean, it's not like, I mean, and it's, you wouldn't believe the pricing on it. I mean, like the most basic food, like pizza, you know, I mean, a pizza is like $60 for a pizza. And, you know, you're like, and if the food was good, you might even consider something like that, but it's shit food and it's crazy prices. So I usually just, there's a, you know, if you get out of the convention center, there's a lot of stuff close by. So I usually send my nephew across the street, you know, over to in the gas lamp area, and there's all kinds of stuff over there, and then he brings it back. But, you know, that's if he doesn't stop at Quicksilver or Hooters or, you know, there's a Humpy's porn shop over there, and he comes back 3 hours later, you know. When I send assholes out and they come back with tans. Then I know I got problems. I sent a guy out, I swear to God, one of Buzz's friends, Jesse, and he comes back and he's fucking tan. And I go, Jesse, you weren't tan when you left. What happened to you? You know, you were gone that long, huh? Oh, my God. Yeah, you know, San Diego is like when the government builds a fucking, you know, one of those bombers where it's got the $600 toilet seat. I'm the guy who gets just reamed at that show with all the assholes who like, you know, hey, you know, want this, and then I got to wind up becoming, you know, Father Flanagan, you know, yelling at people.
Well, you just got to hire us. We come out, we do the show for you, and you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but you see, our relationship, it changes when you work for people, because then you figure out ways to screw people when you work for them. You know what I mean? Like, how can I get away with shit here and not get caught? That's the first thing you think of when you work for people. When they see me and they go, how smart can this guy be? You go, oh, look at this jagoff. Boy, you know, that's, and everybody that works for me, I know that's what they think. They think I don't know what they're doing and what they say about me behind my back. I know, but see, here's the key. I don't give a shit. You know, I value their opinion like zero. So, you guys behind my back, you say, oh, that giddy asshole is, I don't give a shit. It's like, you guys are, you know, come on, stop it. Look where you're from. Cut it out. Stop it. You know, these guys, please, you know, they're still wiping their ass at their bare hand where they live, and I'm supposed to worry about it. If where you live is not represented by one of the stars on the American flag, I don't talk to you.
What? That doesn't make no sense.
Oh, mercy.
All right.
Hey, what's going on? They see, you know, there's shit going on, and they're like, well, where's that? Well, what are you doing? Wait. I'll walk to my booth, and there'll be a guy with a crane, like, putting something up. I'll go, who's this guy? What are you doing? Well, he signed your name and said it was who signed my name? What is this? Now, all of a sudden, I'm like a widow. Who signed my name? What are you talking about? Because you can't wipe your ass at San Diego. Everything costs $1,500. You ask a Teamster a question, $1,500. You know, carpeting and electrical, and you know they want to run gas to your booth. Well, what gas? I don't need gas. Why are you guys running a gas line here? Who needs a stove? Chris needs a stove. You know, you order a Tamacon. Everything is like you turn around, you get these invoices, you go, when did my life get completely like out of control here? Well, what's happening?
Well, good luck this year.
And then I got to become like J. Jonah Jameson all day, which I hate. You know, I got to wind up yelling at people, which I hate doing. You know? San Diego used to be like chasing naked Burmese guys down hallways. You know? Yeah, it is. And at some point, it became like, you know, you're Mr. Responsibility all of a sudden. You know, that show used to be 99%. It was a 99% beat-off session. You were there to just have a good time, walk around, and, you know, get drunk and whatever. And now, man, you go there and it's just... I'm going in early this year, though. I'm going in a couple days early just to hang out and, you know, actually see, you know, the zoo and all the rest of that shit. You know, I'm going in on Friday.
Wow.
Hey, ain't that great? Yeah, because I got a lot of stuff I got to do before the con, honey.
A lot of donkey shows.
A lot of paperwork I got to put in. What fucking paperwork, you know?
A lot of
Watch the Padres game when you'll see the guy sitting there with 6 hot dogs. Oh, there he is.
Well, hopefully we get to see you on the convention.
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
hope
you
you
at
guys
Boca.
can make it out. I mean, I think with all the movie stuff we got this summer, it'll be crazy.
Yeah.
What do we got this summer? We got like 3 superhero movies.
Fantastic Four, Transformers.
Spidey.
Transformers looks good, but Transformers looks like it's going to scare the shit out of people, you know?
I hope
the
so.
trailer I saw looks like it's going to scare the shit out of you, you know?
That's
as it should if giant robots were
Yeah,
invading
no,
the
I mean, I
planet,
think
right?
it's great. I mean, I don't know. What did you guys think of Spidey? I didn't see it, but you could.
I loved it.
Yeah?
Best one yet.
Meh.
They're all nuts, Sal. Don't listen to them. They're all nuts.
All right.
It's worth that.
I'm still trying to figure out why people are so hot over that Snaggletooth. What's her face? Kirsten Dunst.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, I mean, it's a bigger stretch that you know, forget about, you know, it's like, what's a higher percentage? Let me see. Okay, a guy getting bit by a spider becomes a superhero. Oh, that's pretty believable. Her working in New York as a model, that's the part I can't fucking wrap my mind around. I mean, come on. That broad looks like every fucking cheesy hillbilly bitch I went to high school with. I'm sorry. She looks like Susie Rottencrotch, that broad that I went to high school. No, I see her, and I'm like, you know, some broads you see, and you go, man, look at that. This one is not one of those, man, look at that. This one's like, yeah, all right. You know, but no big deal. You know, it's not like one of those ones you see, you go, wow, what a fucking Watusi. You know, like when you watch Telemundo and shit, where you stop and go, fuck. What the fuck is in the water down in Mexico? You flip. And I'm stopping, and I'm watching that Benny Hill-looking guy, and my wife's like, why are you watching Spanish TV? Well, I want the kids to be multilingual, honey. I'm watching Spanish, you know. And you're watching it, and you're going, what the fuck? Everybody's all swollen. And then you flip to Kirsten Dunst, and I'm like, all these guys are killing themselves and doing shit. He's fighting Sandman, worrying about the ring and all the rest of that shit. Take her for coffee. What's the problem? Fuck. This guy, like, you know, this guy's got all these powers of a spider, and he's worried about that skank. Who cares? Listen, you're a superhero. You can pretty much have any ass you want. That's how I look at it. And get away with it. What is she going to do? Where have you been, asshole? It's late. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, honey. I was fighting, you know, what's his face? You know, Kingpin was kicking my ass. I couldn't make it home in time for fucking American Idol. Excuse me. But I see this broad, no tits. She's got a mouth like a bowl of cashews. Those choppers she's got. I mean, she looks like the abominable snowman in Rudolph with those fucking teeth she's got. And she's got it is. She's got like teeth like an old graveyard. You know, one goes left, right, up, broken, down. The top jaw is supposed to be over the bottom jaw, not the other way around. You know what I mean? She looks like Iron Giant, that fucking broad. No ass to speak of. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Spider-Man, and I went through all this bullshit getting bit by spiders, and everybody wants to come after me, and Doc Ock, and all these queers that are trying to kill me all the time. I'm going to go after some fucking Watusis, you know what I mean? Some serious trim, not this broad. And she's going to marry this guy? Take her! You want to marry her? Oh, boy, don't threaten me. Oh, woe is me, you're going to marry her? Can't find another one like that in New York City. I mean, shit, just go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Fuck, there you go, Peter, right there. I watched that on TV, and I'm like, holy fuck. No, come on. You're trying to tell me when you watch the Puerto Rican Day Parade, you don't see a lot of fucking action going on.
They better have their driver's license, though. You never know how old they are.
Yeah, well, it's like, I'm just telling you that it's like when I saw that, and it's always like, it's the same like with with a lot of these movies. These guys, they lose their mind over these women, and you're like, wait a second here. Like Superman, same story. This guy can do what, and you're worried about who? That's my only question. I saw it, and I'm going, wait a second here. What the fuck is going on here? This guy's Superman. He can basically have any piece of ass he wants. And what is he worrying about? This broad who works, about writing a story about a school bus with her kid. Who cares? Anybody who she wants to hook up with, I could kick the shit on. That's how you got to look at it. So nobody likes Superman. Now I'm depressed. Nobody likes Spidey.
Spider-Man's worth viewing that bootleg copy you got.
No, it's worth it, Sal. Don't listen to him. I loved it.
Sandman any good? Or
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I heard he dances or some shit in this movie.
Yeah,
but
that is fun.
Or
That
when
is
he
fun.
becomes Venom, he goes in a... Buzz told me, he said it's like he wanted to get up and walk out when he goes into that jazz club or whatever.
Oh, it's entertaining.
Yeah, the black suit actually makes him able to tap dance and play the piano real well. So,
And think he's John Travolta.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so you get this thing from outer space that lands on you, and now I want to tap dance. That's something maybe Peter would want, but not me.
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
There's a
His
bullseye
name
painted
is
right
Peter
on Peter.
Parker. I mean,
No, I'm like, wait a second here. Isn't it the Freud thing where everything's basically about getting laid? So if this thing landed on me, I'd go, oh, let me see what this is going to do. How's it going to help me at the disco? Pretty much what I would have thought if I was his age.
well, that's the disco.
Played a saxophone?
No,
Somebody told me he played
piano.
the saxophone in this? Or
No,
was
no,
Buzz
no
just
sax.
back chasing the dragon in the opium dens again. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But he chases the dragon on occasion. You got to be careful with that guy. He is growing his hair back.
Well,
He's starting to look like that, that Raja Ghul guy in Batman now. Yeah, so when you walk past a shadow, be careful. Buzz has probably got guys hanging out and they're spying on you.
Now you're just trying to find things to talk about.
No, because Buzz always, every time I talk shit about Buzz on this show, he calls me the next day and leaves me dirty messages on my phone. Like, you fucking asshole, you didn't think I was going to hear about it? People are like, they think I'm an idiot. They think that I don't know that they listen to the show. Like, I'm going to get away with it. Like, I'm Deep Throat and All the President's Men or something. No one's going to hear me. What the fuck? I know you listen, you stupid ass. Of course I talk shit about you. What else am I going to talk about,
Oh.
You guys had Jim Lee on, I saw. That's good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. He's a good guy, Jim. He's one of those, he's one of those guys very approachable at shows. He's a degenerate gambler, but, then again, all those Asians are, so you got to watch out. No, every time I see Jim, first thing out of his mouth, hey, Sal, want to play poker?
Yeah.
That's all. Never, how you doing? How are you? Never. So, hey, we're getting a poker game together. So I'm like, Jim, yeah, you need the money. You need to play some poker. That fucking guy. No. Fucking guy. That's all they want. These guys come to me with this poker game. I'm like, why can't you guys, hey, just once, just for the sake of flavor, go, hey, guy, hey, Sal, we're going to Tijuana whorehouse. You want to come along? Now you'd get I have to think about that. The poker game, I'm like, no, I don't want to hang out with you guys. You guys, is there going to be any food there? Oh, okay, then I'll go.
Well, Sal, it's been an hour and a half.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, don't apologize.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't. I need to vent because I live out here all by myself. I'm like fucking Kevin Costner in fucking Waterworld out here. I'm all by myself.
Plus, you're backed up. We understand. So
Yes.
Right.
I got the kid, and I'm
Playground's
backed
closed.
up, and I'm working on. I'm trying to put Atomica back and get that back in the groove, and it's just it's just trying to juggle too many things, man. You get to a point where you're like, wait a second, I'm trying to ride 3 horses with one ass.
With scales.
With stalactites. Yeah. I had like really bad jardiniere the other day, man. It was not a pretty sight. It was like shit and tacks. It was pretty
You
bad.
said you weren't going to talk about it this time.
I'm sorry. I did. I had I'm not supposed to have jardiniere. The doctor said don't have that. In Italians, that's like if you tap a vein, jardiniere comes out. It's sliced peppers and all that stuff. And I'm not supposed to have it. And of course, I had it, and I got in a lot of trouble. It was not a good. It was like altered states on the toilet. It was not good. It was like in The Thing, when they find that thing made up of faces all screaming and everything. That's what was in the toilet. It was not good. The cop from Terminator, all that was in there. The lady he killed, it was all popping out of the toilet.
We gotta go.
I'm sorry.
My stomach hurts.
You remember the end of Terminator where we're all popping out of that molten shit? That's what was going on in the toilet when I let one loose yesterday.
We gotta go. All right. I can't take it anymore.
Does anybody get the reference? That's all I want to know.
understood.
We'll see you in Mocha, right?
Yes.
Ah.
And anything you guys need between now and then, don't be shy. No, like I said before, if you guys need any type of sponsorship shit or anything for San Diego, let me know.
Well, I definitely want to call you about episode 300.
Yeah, I really want to try to make that. That sounds like a good time. I mean, I'm going to do everything. Let me just say this: I'm going to do everything I can to make it out there.
That's all we can ask for.
Yes. Yeah. You guys, you sent me the info, but you guys are selling tickets. Huh? That's great. It means you got a good crowd.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
And then I'll again, I'm sure Buzz will agree. We'll do whatever, sketches, whatever people want. I'll bring some new shit stories.
That's awesome.
Save them up.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
Hey guys, thanks a lot, man.
Yep, you better believe
Again,
it.
don't
Anytime.
be strangers. Anything, anybody needs anything in between now and San Diego, let me know because it's getting ugly. No, really. If you need to, be pointed in the right direction or whatever, or you got, people need anything, let me know. And I still, again, my sponsorship thing still stands. So, but you guys don't probably want to associate yourself with me. It's such a big show.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, take
Have a
it
good
easy.
night.
guys.
Yep.
Good night,
Stay out of trouble.
Bye-bye.
Stay out of babies are us. That's all I want to know. Stay the fuck away.
All right, man.
All right.
Good night.
Right.
All right.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I gotta play this episode for my folks at work who work at Babies R Us or know people who work at Babies R Us. They're gonna die when they hear this.
He said your mouth was like a cemetery.
Up and down.
What he said, snaggletooth bitch.
A bowl full of, what do you say? Peanuts, cashews?
Bowl full of cashews.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Oh, mercy.
Let's end this.
How do you wait up here?
Nowhere.
How do you follow that?
You can't. In stock trades. Go.
All right.
Stocktrades.com.
If you want to save money, big money on trade paperbacks,
Big money, no whammies.
go to instocktrades.com and get up to 35% off all your trades and get free shipping on orders of $50 or more. It's just that easy. Go to instocktrades.com. All right, to leave us an email.
Hate mail.
Yes. It's comicgeekspeak@gmail.com, and visit our website at comicgeekspeak.com. The voicemail number is 215-279-8839. You can also find our recent episodes on worldfamouscomics.com and silverbulletcomics.com, as well as the latest in comics news, reviews, columns, contests, and more. And as always, we are uniting the world's mightiest heroes, one listener at a time.